has reviewed your application for attorney at public expense. I do find that you are indigent and do qualify for court-appointed counsel.
Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk with Big Chief and yours truly, Stero. Today we're going to be talking about the Idaho College murders and the individual Brian Koberger who has been taken into custody. So let's get into it, bro.
So today we're discussing the Idaho College student murder, the fourth student that was murdered. It appears that it was on November 13th.
Yeah. Of last year,
2022. So the authorities were not forthcoming when it comes to providing much details of the murder itself. So the four students were murdered, basically slaughtered
in their sleep.
And it was actually it's an off-campus student housing. And two other roommates were down in the basement apartment sleeping. They were unarmed, but their fellow roommates upstairs were slaughtered. Now, everyone was like really paranoid because the authorities wasn't forthcoming with much information. And everyone was basically having their door closed. A lot of the students on the off-campus dorms, they were very vigilant when it comes to their communities and people because they didn't know who did this. Now, there was recent information that was released stating that the car that the killer supposedly had used was picked up on a door camera. And it showed when the individual drove past that particular house during that time when the murder allegedly occurred, and also when he left. And the authorities were being, lambasted by individuals saying, "Hey, you guys are not doing your job. You're not giving any updates on the status of the case. You guys are not providing any leads, any suspects." And the Idaho authorities, they reached out to the FBI in addition to the state police. They got involved, and they were able to track down one of the suspects, or actually track down this suspect. And this is Brian Koberger.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what transpired was they were able to locate this individual from DNA. And this is familiar DNA. What transpired was this individual, the sheath from the knife that he had, he left it, so they were able to get the DNA from it. And in addition, they used familiar DNA. They were able to track down his father at his home, and they used the garbage that he tossed out and checked the DNA to see if there was a DNA match, and there was a DNA match. Mm-hmm.
That was December 27th.
Yeah.
That just passed. So subsequently, he was arrested on Friday last week, and he's been extradited as of yesterday. If you've been paying attention to the news, you'll see that the authorities have not really been forthcoming with too many details because of the fact, they want to wait till he gets back to Idaho and make sure that, they're following protocol and they cross their T's and dot their I's.
Yes.
And make sure that, the investigation is basically, solid.
Yeah. So based on Idaho law, they weren't able to release much of the details and the information because they don't want to prejudice the case. So they were waiting for him to be extradited. Actually, he was extradited back to Idaho. So he waived his rights in which he's back in Idaho. Hence the reason why they're releasing additional information. Now, a lot of people might be surprised, but this individual, he is a PhD student, right? he has his master's degree in criminology, and he's going forward to get his degree.
To be fair, this whole case is bizarre, bro.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, an individual of that intellectual capacity to be suspected of allegedly committing this type of a heinous crime, it's like, you know, like...
It's like only things like this you see like in the movies, like,
yeah,
and when you see things like this in the movies, it's like, this can't be, but it's like, this is like really real life. It's like, wait a minute here, this guy, he has a master's degree, and then he's going to get his doctorate degree in criminology and so forth, and he's allegedly slaughtering students.
Aired out 4 people, man. It's like...
So individuals, well, people are saying that maybe he's trying to, based on his learning, is trying to do the perfect crime to see if he's able to get to get around or to get off with it, right? And maybe it was like a trial basis to see that if what he has done, if he's able to get away with it and not get caught. Based on other cases and so forth.
I mean, who knows? But I do know this. Condolences to the, family and friends and loved ones of the victims: Ethan Chapin, Madison Mogan, Kaylee Goncalves, and Zaina Kernodle.
Yes.
I believe her name was. It's, a tragedy at the end of the day. Sad. So sad, I mean, going into the new year, their families are dealing with this, and it's just, hopefully they can get some type of justice and, justice for their loved ones, and, get some peace from this individual being prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law and given the maximum sentence. Does Idaho have the death penalty, do you know?
They do. And the thing is, it's just so... I just can't imagine sending off your child to college, where to get the college experience and the education, in which they're prepping you to be a man and a woman out into the world, right?
Life experience.
Life experiences and so forth. And they send you off, and then they got to get you back in the body bag, right? No fault of their own. It's just because of evil deeds or evil things that individuals do, and it's not natural to bury your child, right? It's just, that's not a natural thing. It happens, but it's not natural, and I grieve for the family, man. I really feel that pain for them too.
I know that the young lady who was in the household at the time and was startled by this individual who was, lurking around the house and, masked up and wearing all black.
All black, yeah.
She saw him, and subsequently he did not see her, so she was able to remain alive.
Yeah, so it was said that she saw when he opened the glass door by the back and exited. Yeah.
I mean, to know how her right now sitting down thinking to herself how fortunate she is to be here while 4 of her friends are deceased. Yeah. Just to know how that, twist of fate happened to whereas you're still alive. I mean, that has to be some type of mental, roller coaster for her to be going through.
Traumatic, post-traumatic stress. And so, like I said, the police, they're not providing much detail. I know that two of the students were, prior to this occurring, they went to like a food truck stand and bought food before they came back to the house. The police is not giving it much detail as to whether or not they had invited anyone over, or otherwise from just the roommates being there's actually 6 roommates, and the 2 that survived slept in the basement apartment downstairs, and the 4 that was deceased slept upstairs. So this individual that that roommate saw lurking in the dark, um, the authorities is not basically saying whether or not if Mr. Koberg was invited over, or if he snuck in the house as a cat burglar or whatever, or snuck in the house as a killer.
I'm sure these details will emerge as the investigation unfolds. Made nationwide news. And all you have to do is tune into your local news network and it's all over, you know?
Yeah.
So we'll see how it transpires moving forward. I mean, for 2023 to start out with like this, says a lot,
Yeah. It's just that this world that we live in is like, anything is expected, and it's expected from anyone, whatever station in life you are at. Anything is expected from any individual.
It's like keep your loved ones loved, safe, protected.
Very close.
Because you never know the day or the hour,
Yeah.
I mean, these 4 individuals went to sleep thinking they would wake up the next day and go through with their regular daily routine, whatever that may have consisted of, and to know that while they were sleeping, we're just taken out of this world,
And the thing here is that this suspect, he allegedly drove cross country from Idaho
to Pennsylvania
to his parents' home, and he was actually stopped twice, one for speeding and the other for tailgating by state troopers, and they never suspected anything because I guess they were not notified or whatever. But he did make it to Pennsylvania, and that's where they arrested him at his parents' home. And I just can't imagine like his parents right now saying to themselves like, what happened? Like, they send him off to school, and this individual come back home and allegedly kill these students and probably acted normal. And for police, the authorities, the FBI, everybody coming knocking at your door and arresting them. It's just, I know it's probably as shocking to his parents as much as
the victim's parents. I mean, the crime in and of itself is just like, I mean, to murder 4 people while they're sleeping, it takes a certain type of individual to commit that type of heinous act.
Very cold.
That's calculated. And then to be able to move as if nothing has happened, drive cross country and go about your daily routine as if, it's just,
Yeah. And with saying that, with him allegedly doing this, has he done it before and got away with it? Who knows?
Good question.
Because if he acted calm and collected and like nothing happened and went about his business and went to visit his parents and everything like that, maybe he had practice prior.
You never know.
Yeah. These are trying times, and we will see what comes about with this case and all the additional evidence, because there's a lot of evidence that the prosecutors don't want to show their hands at this time, right?
Which is understandable.
Yeah, they don't want to prejudice the case and so forth. Yeah.
So stay tuned. We'll definitely keep you updated. This is Let's Talk with Big Chief and Stero. Like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, bless.
Socialmobie.com